Alright, welcome back for pretty much more of the same. Either clean up the scrambler or destroy the jammers.
Well, you know what, Tio? When in doubt, vada a bordo caso.
That's badly pronounced, Jova,
Oh my
but
god, the frame rate on this thing is
no, this one is deliberate
Oh,
because it's
hey, look,
showcasing
guys!
like an
It's
actual.
the USS
Is it?
Missouri.
Yes, it's presented like a military debriefing, Pedro.
That oh,
even if it's intentional, it still looks distracting though.
yeah.
No, like what I said in one of the previous parts, what really fucks me up is how low res it is compared to the rest of the
Again-
game. It's a low res FMV.
Again. Like I said, I feel like it was just an excuse for them to throw in their wireframe models or something, so that they wouldn't have to do more with us.
It's like I'm playing a Virtual Boy emulator with the blue filter on.
Mathis, first priority. Position ships in the fleet to defend the Missouri. Without her,
I'm not
we have
kidding.
no
So-
Virtual Boy emulators allow you to choose. You know how Virtual Boy games have the red thing. Emulators allow you to pick which color palette you want. You can choose gray, which is the more obvious one. You can choose blue, so you can make all games look blue, all games look yellow.
So Tio.
Anyway,
so
as
Tio-
you can, as the debriefing told you, give me a second, Jova. This is another escort mission. This time for the USS Missouri. Yes,
Oh, great.
that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually. So given the story significance of the USS Missouri, let me guess, it's an immediate game over if that particular ship gets sunk.
Yes, this is yet another type
we,
of. Again,
oh,
this game in
oh,
general is a gigantic set of escort missions, basically.
Hey Pedro, you remember the USS Missouri thing and how much that was a complete screw up?
group of U.S. personnel remains on the island.
Again, do we even need the USS Missouri? We could just win the battle on our own.
Actually,
See
yeah.
that throughout the whole game.
Actually, yeah, okay, here's another problem with the story. Like a lot of video game adaptations, in regards to the actual events of the movie, it jumps around. So, despite the fact that the war has apparently been going a-okay for us on sea, suddenly we come to them dragging out the USS Missouri here. And if you haven't seen the movie, then you're probably just wondering why a decommissioned museum ship is suddenly being brought to the fight.
To be fair, Jova, when I played this game, like I told you, I didn't actually watch the movie in its entirety, so I had no idea that the USS Missouri was an actual retired ship and instead was something that they already had.
Well, okay. And you know what? To be fair, I'm not surprised you may not have known that. I'm not saying that you're ignorant, but I mean...
No,
well,
I'm
you
just
have
not American, Jova. That's
Pretty-
different.
Pretty much.
No, or Tio had the common sense to not watch it like a decent human being.
Well, no, that's...
To be fair, this is something that the information about the Missouri itself is something I could have known without watching the movie.
Yeah. We were talking about the whole Missouri thing. But yeah,
I
okay.
know.
Let's assume that you do know about it, though. Again, this game does not do a good job letting you not be confused by the plot. Like, congrats.
Yeah,
even
Jeremy,
if-
you could have cut out that second half of your sentence, and that would have summed up the whole game.
That's the thing. This game
True.
doesn't seem to do a very good job at anything.
Oh, okay.
I can
Now
tell you
that
this, Pedro,
frame
it
rate
is
was
functional as a
terrible.
shooter. It's very generic, but it's functional. Can tell you that.
Congrats! You're not a dumpster fire game. Have a cookie.
Pedro, considering how a lot of games kind of on the same level tend to actually not even function or be riddled with bugs, I will take this accomplishment for how little it looks.
That's it, Tio. That's like the equivalent of learning to ride a bike. Like, yeah, it seems tough, but in reality, that's like one of the basic functions of humankind. To learn to ride a bike. Hence the saying, it's as easy as riding a bike.
I don't know how to ride one, okay?
I'm not familiar. The saying revolving bike that I'm familiar with is it's like riding
It's
a
like
bike.
riding a bike. You'll never forget.
Yeah, I never heard it's as easy as riding a bike. That I never
Yeah.
heard of.
I think Joe was talking out his butt.
Beak.
Oh my god, guys.
Well done. Now
Yeah, he said it, not me.
Yeah, now you know how it feels.
Reagan, out.
Wait. That's it. Are you serious that you don't know how to ride a bike?
Yes.
What?
Huh.
Whatever.
Eh.
I actually tried to learn how to ride
You
a
guys
bike when
know
I
how
was
to
little.
swim?
Yes. I love how immediately after the guy hands you the pad, he dies.
I can't see anything.
Jesus
Oh, now I
Christ,
can
the
see it.
stupid lighting. So, literally, that guy functioned just to give you control so he can die. Great
Pretty
writing.
much.
Brilliant writing. Okay, so, honest question, guys. Which has worse writing? This game or the movie it's based off of?
The both shit.
I'm guessing-
I will
Yeah,
say
the
this.
movie.
I will
The
say
movie-
this
the movie has worse.
for how bad this can get. At least it's it's just simply bad. Like I said, the movie can get offensive big time.
Yeah. I forgot, Pedro. What was your reaction to the whole Missouri thing in our original commentary, given the whole museum? Oh! Are we...
I remember being ticked off, but I can't give you specifics because it's been a long time.
Speaking of which, I believe we're playing as the USS Missouri now. Hurrah!
Yay.
Hey,
So in a way, you actually get to play as Taylor Kitsch, I guess.
Batio. Surely for our final boss, we'll get to have that amazing final battle between the giant mothership and the USS Missouri.
Technically, we do. Technically, we do. But the game is a kind of bizarre way to adapt that. You'll see in the last part, actually.
I just really want. I have trouble imagining the pitch meeting for this particular game here. Like, guys, it's a game.
I want to see the pitch meeting for this movie.
Well, that was.
Yeah, as an update from what he asked in the movie, like I said, Screen Rant still hasn't done an actual, pitch meeting for the Battleship movie, but
Wow.
I can only hope it actually happens.
So you have a movie for me? No,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
I
I
don't.
do.
No, sir, I don't. I actually have an advertisement for a board game.
Oh, but we can totally make a movie out of that.
I guess.
So, what's the plot of it?
Wait, what?
The plot.
Exactly.
I don't really have much of that one, sir.
Taylor Kitsch.
Who?
This Taylor Kitsch guy. I hear he's gonna be big in this John Carter film. We should totally get him to star in this movie.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll be a box office success the world over.
Yeah, no, I just want to find a way to get him alongside Liam Neeson and Rihanna.
Oh, so they're gonna all fight alongside each other?
Yep.
I mean, I guess. So anyway, Taylor Kitsch will play this guy named Alex Hopper.
Uh-huh. Yep. Oh, like a rock opera penguin.
Not really, no. And he's going to be celebrating his birthday with his older brother who works in the Navy.
Oh, really? So is it going to be one of those typical strict brother relationships with the Slacker brothers?
A little bit, sir. So it turns out then he meets this really hot girl who can't get a burrito because the kitchen's closed for the night.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
so
sneaky
why does...
burritos at night is tight.
I don't think that's how it works, sir.
It worked for me when I was in high school. Anyway, let me talk about this. Now you have a new fancy gun. A rail gun, to be precise.
Wait,
say
Tio, I'm more
it's a
interested in
certain
that
railgun?
story than what's going on. Go on.
No, sorry. Let me explain. Sorry.
If we did
this
that,
is
we'd be
yet-
watching the whole episode full.
Guess what? This is yet another escort mission. This time you have to defend these plants. I think these deposits on the docks, and you have to use the railgun to perfectly fire at the aliens so they don't destroy it.
Pedro, I'm going to say
As you
it.
can see, boys, it's a bit imprecise.
Pedro, I'm going to say it. I think Ico did the whole being an entire escort mission being better than this game.
Oh no! Oh well, Eco is entirely designed around something like that. It's just that I still don't give a shit about Yura because the game doesn't bother to give her, a personality.
But her mother is evil, Pedro.
Okay, that's cool, but I still want to care about her. Otherwise, see, here's the thing. Again, that's why Last Guardian works a lot better. The reason Last Guardian works is because you actually give a crap about Trico, because Trico actually has a personality, and they do such a great job drawing character out of that creature. Whereas Yura just stands there.
The best
Whereas Yura just stands there with a mopey face, not saying anything, and the game
She's a damsel in distress most of the time too.
yeah, she's literally Princess Peach, except you're always carrying her around if you were and you're Mario basically.
Reminds me, do you buy into the theory that the queen is actually you-know-who from Shadow of the Colossus cursed with immortality due to being brought back under demonic circumstances?
There's plenty of theories about various loose ends in the way the trilogy drove. Like, Inueda himself never confirmed anything because he doesn't
Pretty
want
much.
to.
He
So-
deliberately wants to keep this vague kind of connection that might be there, might not be there, in what precise manner. So
That's one of the big reasons why we really.
it's kind of like a less comedic Neil Breen when you get down to it.
Anyway, so Dwibs. Oh, sorry.
Wait. I don't get it. What does that mean?
In a sense, but he makes things to be deliberately vague and doesn't bother to actually answer the connection. He said, "Oh no, it's up to interpretation," that kind of way. But sometimes it does feel like a bit of a cop out.
Let me put it like this,
Yes,
Dej. Oh, hold on. Let me explain this one being to Dej. Basically, Dej, you know Tommy Wiseau?
Another type of alien vessel
Yes.
just off
Neil Breen is like what would have happened if Tommy Wiseau was deliberate in being bad from the get-go. Like, Neil Breen is a guy who has managed to crack the code in making movies so bad that they're enjoyable and doing it continuously to the point where people are literally celebrating the fact that he is apparently making his own cinematic universe now.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you saying that the Team Ico, the
Team
guy
Ico.
is kind of not good?
Oh no, no, no!
no,
It is
that's not the
fine,
issue.
but here's the thing. What he deliberately says is that these games are connected in some fashion. But when it comes to actually, bothering with potential details or at least a bit more of that from that statement, he basically erects a stone wall and doesn't let anything passes out.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's kind of not good.
Anyway, you gonna say, Java?
so back to the pitch
Well,
meeting.
if it helps, it doesn't harm the quality of the games themselves. It's just like people have theories, Weta doesn't confirm them, but the games themselves aren't harmed by it, if that helps you.
Oh, well, I mean, true, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, they're connected. You want to explain why? No.
Well, here's the thing, Dej. I was about to say, actually, that's one of the big reasons why Shadow of the Colossus really needed a remake, because now Bluepoint was able to properly have the original artworks be properly portrayed, because one of the big reasons why it's common to think that they're connected is because they have the common architecture. In Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2, that wasn't so much the case because of the really visual concessions that they had to make in order to get that game running on the PS2. But when you take a look at the architecture in the PS4 remake, it looks just like the architecture in Eco and Last Guardian, and adds to that, consistency thing that supports the theory. So it's one of those cases where the remake was definitely a necessity. Go ahead,
Yes,
go ahead.
Java?
Shall we continue the pitch meetings?
Go
Sure,
ahead,
yes,
guys.
I don't
Again,
understand
like I
what the
said,
Shadow of
most
the
of this is
Colossus
just
thing was about.
most of it is just a master mission.
So let me get this straight. So they want to go for a burrito at this particular gas convenience. Why don't they just go to a food court?
Sir, I think you're jumping ahead a bit.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, then continue.
So basically, he wants to he really wants to impress this girl, so he decides he's gonna try and get a burrito himself.
Uh-huh, and he's gonna buy one easily at a food court, right?
You would think so, sir, but it turns out the only shop in the area that sells is also closed for the night.
The only shop in the area.
Yes, sir.
Well, surely something profound will come of this, I'm sure, to establish their romance and relationship.
Yeah, sir. So I figured what I could have him do is break into the shop and get the burrito from there.
He breaks into the shop, and we're supposed to like him.
Oh, don't worry, sir. He leaves money on the counter.
Well, I do suppose statistics do show that people do like those weird and quacky characters.
Yes, sir. So anyway, he gets arrested, and his brother is pissed off at him.
Oh, wow. So I guess his brother is going to finally, have a good sit-down talk with him, take him to therapy, and help him get his life straight, right?
He's gonna force him to enlist in the Navy.
What?
Yes, sir. He's going to force him to enlist him in the Navy.
He's going to have him enlist in the Navy, which he cannot usually get in without a criminal record of sorts.
You would think so, sir, but it turns out getting into the Navy is as easy as getting into a playground.
Skipping all those rules and regulations are tight.
I guess so, sir. So anyway, we skip forward 7 years into the future, and it turns out that even though Alex is still a complete fuck up. He's now a lieutenant.
He really manages to become a lieutenant despite not learning a goddamn thing.
Yes, sir. In fact, he's still rather impulsive, he's still violent, and he treats everyone in his crew like assholes.
Wow, I do believe that sounds like Shia LaBeouf's character, but 10 times worse from the Bayformers films.
So yeah, so it turns out that he's been trying to work up...
Shia LaBeouf wasn't an asshole.
So it turns out he's been trying to work up
He's not
the
talking about
courage
the actor, he's talking about the character.
Yeah. I'm talking. Yeah, Sam Wookie. That's
Well,
his name.
well, hence why I
He-
said 10 times worse.
Also, yes, Jova, that was the actual Missouri.
Yes.
So it turns out that Alex has been trying to work up the courage to ask her father, who's the admiral of the Navy group that they're in, for his permission to marry his daughter.
So you mean to tell me that he has been dating his boss's daughter all this time and is only now thinking to ask him permission if he didn't even ask him permission to date her?
Yeah, you would think he would have asked a bit earlier.
Well, does he ask him?
Yes, but that's not until the very end of the movie, sir, because we have a war games scene to do.
This is a Battleship movie, right?
Yes, of course, sir. So anyway, aliens turn up.
Aliens?
Alright, so at first glance, I thought we were looking at Halo. I don't know why this background reminds me of Halo 1.
It really shouldn't, that because, like I said at the beginning, despite the supposed color from the away setting, the combination of the bloom and the desaturation makes it look so unappealing to the eye.
And after going out to investigate, Alex
So
gets
wait,
backward
yeah,
by
what you're saying,
the
it's
shield
the
protecting the alien ship.
I see all those government procedures taught him to obviously touch the first thing he sees, regardless of where its point of origin is.
Yes.
Ow.
Yes. That government
Shit.
training is really paid off, sir. Oh, and by the way, the brother dies.
He dies?
Yeah. His ship gets hit by those pegs that those pegs from that look like the ones in the Battleship board game, and they explode, and he gets blown to bits.
Oh, so only now we're paying mind to the board game that the movie is based off of. That's clever. But wait, won't the audience be wondering why they should care about the brother? It doesn't sound like you've discussed much about him.
Well, sir, they're brothers, and that's all you need to know about that.
Dead brothers do tend to be good for marketing. So, what does
Yes.
Alex do now that everything is under his command?
Well, it turns out that it turns out that all the other senior officers are dead, and so he's now the captain.
So I'm sure he's going to take a U-turn and make for good strategy before attacking things head on.
Now he's going to order them to attack head on, even though they have no guns and they're heavily outmatched.
Huh, that sounds like it's heading towards the end of the movie.
Nah, it
So-
takes his chief petty officer to snap him out.
Anyway, we'll continue this in the next part because guess what? We'll keep doing the same, but with doing the night. So at least we'll get a night filter for this. See ya.
Yay!
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.